ever get that feeling? You step into somewhere totally new, maybe massive, like a brand new theme park, that wow moment.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's exciting.
Exactly. But let's be real, it can also be a bit overwhelming. Like, where do I even start?
Exactly. Information overload sometimes.
So today we're doing a slightly different kind of exploration. We're diving deep into the thinking behind an app designed for exactly that situation. It's for a new, apparently very ambitious Disneyland-style park opening up in Dubai.
Right. We've got this really interesting conversation transcript that outlines the early strategy for building this app. It's a peek behind the curtain,
Yeah.
seeing how they're approaching the digital side of this huge project.
And our mission here is to unpack that conversation. We want to pull out the core thinking, the innovative ideas they're kicking around to make an app that isn't just functional, but actually makes your whole visit better.
Elevates the experience, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so where did they even begin this design chat? It sounds like the very first question was pretty fundamental. What kind of park is this actually going to be? Water park? Or something else?
That's spot on. Getting that initial clarity is, well, it's essential. The conversation makes it clear the vision is more like Disneyland and very out there, as most things are in Dubai.
Huh. Right. Very out there. That tells you a lot straight away, doesn't it? About the scale, the kind of experiences this app needs to handle.
Definitely. Sets the scene.
But even with a huge vision like that, you got to deal with reality. Constraints. What were they up against?
Well, the big one mentioned is time. They're aiming to launch the park in about 4 months.
4 months. Wow. Okay, that's fast for app development on this scale.
It's incredibly fast.
Yeah.
So speed is key. And the goal for the app itself, it's not just have an app. It needs to create buzz, achieve virality.
Virality. And how?
By delivering a really great user experience that, yes, is also monetizable down the line. That's the core aim.
Okay, so big vision, tight deadline, need for virality. Where does that naturally push the design focus?
Straight to the users, the people who will actually be downloading and hopefully loving this app.
Makes sense.
Yeah, the source material really emphasizes understanding user goals, building out personas profiles of typical visitors, figuring out their likely frustrations, their pain points.
And then matching solutions to those pain points.
Exactly. And prioritizing those solutions based on what drives that North Star metric, which here's that great experience combined with virality. And what's cool is how quickly they started sketching out who these users might be.
Right, let's talk about them. They paint a picture of 3 key types. First up is Ramesh.
Ramesh.
He's an IT guy taking his family wife, an 8-year-old daughter, Ria, who's super excited about castles and water rides, and an 11-year-old son, Rohan, on their first big international trip to Dubai.
So for him, it's all about the family memory creation.
Exactly. That nostalgia factor, creating those moments they'll look back on. You can immediately see how an app could help capture that, right?
To make it easy, definitely. Then there's Arjun. He's different.
He's the teenager.
Yeah, turning 18, celebrating to the park with family, cousins. He's all about the thrills, loop coasters, drop rides, that kind of thing.
What adrenaline junkie.
Totally. And crucially, he's already buzzing about it on Instagram.
Yeah.
He represents that desire for excitement, but also that built-in social sharing aspect. The app needs to tap into that.
Okay, so family memories, teenage thrills, and the third persona.
That's Alisha. She's a vendor, owns a souvenir shop in the park. She's a long-term Dubai resident, really passionate about the city.
So her perspective is different again.
Right. She wants people to appreciate the whole experience, the atmosphere, and, well, maybe buy a nice souvenir to remember it by. An authentic artifact, as she calls it.
Interesting mix. So how did they prioritize these? You can't build everything for everyone, especially now in 4 months.
No, you can't. And the thinking seems to focus pretty quickly on Ramesh, the parent, and Arjun, the teen.
Why them specifically?
Yeah.
Over the vendor, for instance.
It's strategic.
Yeah.
Tourists like Ramesh, well, they talk. They recommend things to other families, friends back home. Word of mouth.
Okay.
And Arjun, with his social media presence, he's got that potential for rapid, broad reach. It's about focusing initial efforts on the groups most likely to generate that early buzz and drive adoption, get the ball rolling.
Gotcha. Focus on the drivers of virality first. So with Ramesh and Arjun in mind, the next step is figuring out what might ruin their day.
Pretty much. Identifying the potential pain points. Yeah. What are those common frustrations you run into at a huge theme park?
Oh, I can think of a few. Just the sheer number of things to do, that feeling of, am I missing the best ride? FOMO?
FOMO's huge, yeah. That's definitely highlighted. And the classic one, lines, long queues, especially peak season. So much time just waiting.
Or just figuring out where you're going, getting lost, wasting time walking in circles in a massive place.
Exactly. Inefficient navigation. And it's not just the waiting, right? It's making choices before you wait.
Yeah. You queue for ages based on maybe a cool name or a picture, then the ride itself is meh, or not what you expected.
That lack of good information before you commit time is a real issue.
Definitely.
And then there's the group dynamic, keeping everyone happy. The source mentions that classic example.
Mm.
One kid's cranky and wants donuts now, but the parents were hoping for, like, decent Italian food.
Been there. Catering to those diverse needs within one group is a real challenge.
It absolutely is. So the big question becomes, how can the app step in and actually solve some of these problems?
Okay, let's get into the solutions. This is where it gets exciting. How can the app tackle these pain points and, boost that user experience and virality?
One of the first big ideas is itinerary creation, personalized schedules.
Ooh, tell me more.
Imagine the app taking your preferences, what kinds of rides you like, food, group size, all that, and then generating an optimized plan for your day.
Optimize how?
It would consider travel time between things, suggest the best times to visit popular spots, maybe even let you pre-book slots or tickets.
Wow, okay. That tackles the overwhelm and the wasted time problem head on. That sounds amazing.
Yeah, potentially a huge time saver, stress reducer, and linked to that is navigation and discoverability.
Like a smart map.
Exactly. Real-time maps, obviously, but also highlighting what's nearby attractions, shows, coffee shops, crucially, bathrooms,
Yes.
and showing estimated wait times for rides. That's key. It lets you make informed choices on the fly. Maybe skip that huge queue and discover something else nearby with no wait.
That empowers the user. I like that. What else?
Then there's the fun stuff. Real-time pics.
So photos taken on the rides.
Yeah, captured during the ride and sent straight to your app. The idea is maybe you get one or two free.
Get you hooked.
Exactly. Then options to buy more. It taps right into that immediate capture the moment feeling, especially the thrilling ones. Very shareable.
Okay, cool. Shareable is good for virality.
Definitely. And taking the tech further, AR integrations, augmented reality.
Oh, like Pokemon Go style, but for theme parks.
Sort of. Imagine pointing your phone camera at a coaster and seeing an overlay pop up saying tallest and fastest in the park. Or finding specific AR spots where a character, like Moana maybe, appears on your screen for a photo op.
Whoa. Okay, that's got that wow factor.
Yeah.
That feels different.
That's positioned as a potential hero feature, something really unique and delightful that makes people talk about the app.
I can see that. And to really push the sharing.
A sharing and referral system. Basically, rewarding users for getting their friends to download the app.
What kind of rewards?
Tangible stuff seems key. Maybe a free ride next time, or a discount in Alicia's souvenir shop. Real-world perks often work better than just points. Drives that word of mouth.
Makes sense. Okay,
Yeah.
so lots of great ideas. Itineraries, smart navigation, AR, ride photos, referrals. But back to that 4-month deadline. They can't build all of that at once. How do they prioritize?
Good question. That's critical. The conversation mentions potentially using a framework like RICE. Yeah, it stands for Reach, Impact, Confidence, and Effort. It's a structured way to weigh up features. How many users does it reach? How much impact does it have on the goals? How confident are we in our estimates? And how much work is it?
Okay, a logical way to approach it.
Helps avoid just building the coolest sounding thing first. So based on that kind of thinking, what rises to the top for the initial launch?
Well, it seems like navigation and discoverability is priority 1.
Right. That feels like table stakes now, doesn't it?
Yeah,
You almost expect a good map and directions in a park app.
totally. Then,
And the AR integrations, that hero feature, the thing to generate buzz,
yeah.
and the sharing and referral system, to get that viral loop going early.
Okay, so nav, AR, and referrals for launch. What about the itinerary planning and the real-time picks? They sounded great too.
They do, but the thinking is maybe they're for V2, a later release.
Why hold back? Especially the itinerary one. That sounded so useful.
Well, for the itinerary planner to be really smart, it needs data. It needs to know what people actually like, where they go, how long things take in reality. Launching without it lets them gather that data first.
Oh, okay. Build a smarter version later based on real behavior. Makes sense. And the ride photos.
That one has a few more hurdles. Things like getting user consent right and the technical challenge of actually identifying and tagging the right person accurately on a speeding roller coaster.
Huh.
It's not trivial.
Right. More complex than it sounds. Better to nail the core stuff first.
Exactly. Get the fundamentals solid.
Oh.
So they launch with this core set. How do they know if it's actually working? How do they measure success?
Good point. What are the key metrics they're looking at?
Pretty standard app metrics, but tailored. Number of downloads, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Account creations.
Sure.
Average time spent using the app specifically around the visit, like 3 days before to 1 day after.
Right.
That shows utility.
Yeah, are people actually planning with it and reliving it afterwards?
Exactly. Then, critically, for virality, number of people sharing their park photos on social media.
Direct measure.
Yep. And finally, Net Promoter Score, NPS. Are users happy enough to actually recommend the park and the app?
Okay, so downloads, engagement, sharing, and overall satisfaction gives a pretty rounded view.
It does. Tracks adoption, usage, and crucially that user sentiment.
So wrapping up our deep dive here, it seems the process starts with really getting the park's vision, the context, the constraints,
Then zooming right in on the users. Who are they? What are their potential frustrations?
and then brainstorming solutions using digital tools like itineraries, AR, smart navigation to tackle those pain points, make the visit smoother, more fun,
And ultimately more shareable, creating those moments people want to talk about.
with a smart, phased approach to actually building it, focusing on the essentials and the wow features first.
Precisely. It's all about being user-centric, understanding that tech should enhance the real-world experience, not get in the way.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you listening. Thinking about this blend of, physical theme park
Say, the next few
thrills and
years.
slick Ooh, digital interesting tools.
Question. Or maybe
How
will
do you
traditional
see this
healthcare
evolving?
models
How
need
will
to change?
parks keep
Will
using
they
tech
integrate
to make
more with, say,
memories
the next few
even
years?
more
Ooh,
immersive, more interesting question. shareable in the
Or
future?
maybe
Yeah,
how
what's
will
the
traditional
next
healthcare
leap?
models need
Think
to
about
change?
your own park
Will they
visits.
integrate
What
more
tech
with, say,
really
the
added
next
to your
few